Just an update. I'm home, and after the biopsy results come back, the idea is we'd rather do genetic testing first because that may eliminate the need for a second laparoscopic procedure. Because if the genetic testing comes back, we got to remove the ovaries if it comes back positive. He honestly doesn't believe it's going to. He said, if you choose not to do this, it's going to be roughly, $400 or $500, $300 for the test, and then, the office visits that is not covered by insurance folks. Yeah. So honestly, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel right now anyway. So he said if I couldn't afford to get it done, he would still go through with the laparoscopic procedure, but the idea is obviously if I can get that testing done, then while he's in there, he can just go ahead and take both ovaries if it's necessary. Again, based on my history, he expects it to show no genetic mutations, and we went over some history today. Again, in my family's history, my mother had 14 brothers and sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, blah, 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 blah. The only ones that ended up with cancer were the smokers, and the ones that had, there were two, I think. One of the aunts and uncles will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. But I believe it was my uncle Sidney and my grandfather had the cancer. My uncle Woody may have cancer too, I'm not sure. But that's 2 out of 15 kids. Not likely, he said. Dad's side, nobody. So the question is, do I pay for this genetic testing just to prove that it's not it? If it is, I do want my ovaries gone. I guess there's really no way of knowing without it, so I got to come up with around $500. Okay, on another note, my right breast is flipping, hurting like crazy right now. The lidocaine has clearly worn off. I took the Tylenol, as they said. It is not helping. It's getting a little more painful. They took a lot of biopsies. There were a lot of calcifications. So luckily, he said he thinks he got samples from every single one. What else? I think that's it. I'm home. I'm not leaving you guys. I was going to come out and do some help in the community this afternoon, believe it or not. But I can't do it. I just can't. I got to stay home and rest. And besides, I'm a bit of an emotional wreck right now. I've been crying for a while. And that's part of it. The reality sets in. Once you do the work, at least me, because I compartmentalize, so I'm in therapy. I'm able to do the work. I'm a survivor. I can do the work. But then once the work is done, there's this emotional drain that absolutely happens. And it's really hard to keep that flow away. Sometimes you just have to let it happen. And it's time to let that happen right now. I'm scared. I'm worried. And I hope it's not cancer. Whatever it is, it's not good. I love you guys, and thanks for all your support. And I'm sorry for the emotions, but I'm not, because, again, that's part of it, and we need to talk about this. It's time to talk about this. We spent far too long pretending that environmental causes were not the culprit. We were called conspiracy theorists and so many other things, but we have facts, we have science, we have testing. I have a very tight chain of command on the evidence. There's no doubt about my diagnoses. Multiple diagnoses related to cyanobacteria toxins. And if you are around a waterway that you suspect may possibly be producing toxins, get out of there. You can't turn this back. It bioaccumulates. Every time you're out and exposed, you get more and more toxins in your body, and it begins to affect more and more of your body, and then you become symptomatic. For some with mild exposure, it's over time and it's gradual. It could be something like Alzheimer's, ALS, Parkinson's. But for others of us who have an extreme exposure like I did, because I followed Randy Coslow's advice to let the vegetation dry and then scoop it into a garbage can once it was dry, that cyanobacteria turned into a chalky cake, and I was standing in a green cloud with every pitchfork shovel into the can. I followed his advice. Randy Coslow, City of Edgewater, told me you can leave it on the bank to decompose. You can pitch it while it's wet, but it's going to be heavy. I said, well, I'm not going to leave it on the bank to decompose because obviously everything's going to go right back in the water. So I did the second choice he had, which was put it on a tarp to dry and come back the next morning. Here we are. Our city government allowing us to do their job because they refuse, and then giving us bad advice. I want us all to call for the termination of Randy Coslow. I want us all to call for the termination of Glenn Irby. I want us all to call for the termination of Darren Lear. Yeah, I said it. I did invite him to a meeting because he's the one with the most information on development, but likely he won't come because he knows he's going to be hammered. And he should be. The city manager should come. He should get hammered for Darren so that he will have no choice but to go back and fire him. This is wrong on so many levels. Our city's got to change, you guys. I don't want to run for mayor, but I'll do it. I don't care. We all need to step up. There is none of us qualified. But if we care enough, that's our qualification. Because the people sitting on that dais, most of them don't care. The people who are your department heads, they damn sure don't care. And it's time to make them care. Get rid of them. Put someone in that does care. Whoever you are, if you want to run for city council, there are 2 seats up. Mayor and Christine Power. Christine Power allegedly is running for mayor over my dead body, Christine. And that's not a joke. Mayor Thomas, you got to go. Retire. Go spend some time with your family. I don't want to be mean to you anymore. And after what your daughter-in-law did to me this past week, I suspect you put her up to it. You and I might be in litigation for a long time. She and I might be in litigation for a long time. This isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. Not over by a long shot. I ain't going away. I'm not going away quietly into the night. I'm here, and I'm fighting. And I'm going to fight you as hard as I fight whatever the heck is going on in my body that your negligence, your mismanagement, your lack of maintenance has caused. I'm going to get every resident in Edgewater to understand what you did and what you're doing to them. This has got to stop. Even if it takes me going through the ridicule, backlash, and mudslinging to run for mayor. It's not like everyone doesn't know my crap anyway. I frankly don't care. I care more about this city than I do about any kind of embarrassment that you, Mayor Thomas, and your daughter-in-law, Michelle Stubbs Thomas, threatened me with. Yeah, I got that right in front of Christy View at the Flagler Tavern. It was bleeding in on Christy's mic. I think she was a little ticked off, honestly. So don't think that we didn't have evidence and witnesses to what you did. You're still doing it. You didn't change. You told me you did. You played a little game with me, but guess what? The game's on you. You promised me you would work with the FBI on that Miami Corporation issue, yet you're still voting on Miami Corporation stuff. You need to not vote on anything related to Farmton, Miami Corporation, Miami Alternatives, Miami Corporation Management, and all of their other names, Farmton North LLC. You, sir, should have not voted on one thing. I don't care if you're not employed by them anymore or doing their conservation. I don't care. You have a history and a relationship with them that is criminal. You were culpable in that. I'm venting now. That's right. I'm emotional. I'm allowed to. I cannot stand what you guys have done to the city of Edgewater. Jonah Powers, thank you for your conversation today. The one person in the city of Edgewater who is investigating, who I truly believe has hope in the future of Edgewater. I wish I could say it about the rest of you, but I can't. Gigi Bennington, I was really happy you tried to get Glenn Irby terminated, but guess what? You knew you didn't have a consensus. The mayor let the rest of the board speak before he was going to speak because he wasn't going to join forces with you if he didn't have a consensus, and he didn't because you were the only one. Because he didn't support you. He got you to do that. I know he did. We talked about it before you were elected. I know that that was the plan between the two of you before you were elected. And to know that the mayor sat there acting innocent, like he had nothing to do with it, and then voting against you on considering the manager's contract. Violations of sunshine law. I had that conversation with attorneys too. They all violate. What's the point? You shut down every city. If you prosecute, they won't prosecute. It's up to us. It's up to us residents to get rid of them. Get rid of them. We can do better. We have better in the city. I've seen them. You all have shown me that we have great talent, great resources, great education, great experience in the city. Greater experience than we currently are experiencing. Please, I'm begging you, step up. Thank you. Love you. Talk to you later.